Hello, hello. We're back. Just left the stag with friends, and we're gonna do some things. You walk from the stag to the bunks. The walk from the stag to the bunks takes about 30 minutes. I'm chilly and feeling a little chaffed by the time we reach it. Once we are inside, do not bring your voice above a whisper. I believe that most of the men in the bunks will not be able to understand us, but we should not take any unnecessary risks. Uh, Nobody can know what we are doing, even the parts that may seem banal. Banal? Okay. Once we step inside, Yao fishes a key out of his pocket and slides it into the numbered lock in the doorway. He slides out what looks to be a packet of waxy paper. Then he beckons me into the room full of bunks where the stale acrid acrid scent hits me again. I see a few shapes tossing and turning on their bunks. One of them is lying on their bed doing something. It turns out what Nikolai told me was true about some of them not caring about no privacy. It's nothing I haven't seen before, but it makes me wince. Mostly since they won't be cleaning themselves up immediately after. Nikolai is waiting on his bunk with a lit candle on a holder. He's taking up half the bed, but me and Yao manage to squeeze in together. Then he shuts us in using a thick curtain. The tiger tilts his head to whisper into my ear. What you see is everything I have learned about the mines. I have managed to trace over official layouts without anybody noticing. But I have I have also added my own layouts to this. The one that I know they don't know about. This is the main entrance to Site C, where I took you during the first day. It annexes the hexagonal room. Then you can follow it to a tunnel where Jack was. He clears his throat. Found when you follow the shaft down vertically. This place, you on the second floor. I see. There is a series of tunnels that connects you back to the elevator, which can reach any level of the mine using a winch mechanism, which can lead back to the surface. But the opposite direction leads outside from the second level, where the opening is concealed by a boulder. I imagine you have used this entrance before. Intimately. Then did you notice this? The digit glides away from the exit and follows the tunnel inside until it takes a sudden turn north. The hidden tunnel within the hidden tunnel. His digit circles around the area, making a spiral pattern. That's where the real gold is. Inside of a natural maze. And here is the proof. He places something the size of a peanut on the page. It mostly looks like a charcoal colored rock, but embedded in the center is a large chunk of shiny metal. Yao presses into it, and the glittering metal bends into putty. You will spend the next 2 hours remembering the natural maze, and both of the exits in and out of the mine. 2 hours? There's no way I'm going to learn to remember this in 2 hours. Nor do I expect you to. You will study this map every night this week for at least 2 hours until our job is finished. That is just the first of your tasks. What's the point of making me do this? Because you will not always have this map. And knowing it will make your job much easier. Before you finish him, Before you ask him to do any of that, you should see level 3. That would be wise. Here it is. Thank you, Yao. Sam, this is where you and I will be working for the next week. It's the lowest charted area of Site C, so it is the least understood, which makes it the most dangerous. Wait, hasn't this mine been open since the 1800s? Shouldn't the mine be deeper than 3 levels? I suppose I have never thought of that. Although, we were told Site C was the newest addition in the mine. But we also know that the bosses lie. It may be true that Site C is the newest addition, but we still do not know how old it is. And we know that there are delays on level 3. More than there should be. There's more, they're more clever than I thought, Mr. Ayers. Thanks, I think. You're more clever, yeah. Don't thank me until the map is memorized. Begin. Yeah, I think this was where the I think that was where the last build left off for Nikolai, because it was the first build that I played because of reasons, and I remember being like, "Oh, that's so short. What the like? Why?" And then when I started playing the other routes, and they're long, like there's so much more content to them. Though nothing is at chapter 3 yet. I don't know how long. Oh, did my the water bottle just I kicked it and now it's just lying on my foot. That is fine. He can stay there. But yeah, it's neato. Nick tells me that I don't have to get it all the first time, but I can feel the tiger's gaze on me as I flip through the pages, trying my best not to smudge any of the hard black lines. It's a lot easier for me to remember something when it interests me. But when nothing's open to interpretation, and when there's just wrong and right details, that's when I start to feel like the rocks tumble around in my head. I flip through those pages until I'm dizzy, and I tell them both that I've had enough. I look to their faces, expecting to see judgment or disappointment. But all I can discern from either of them in their faces is urgency and fear. Nick puts out the light, and the three of us sit there for a while, like we were all tired and trying to lift something heavy. Bunks creak as some of the other men in the shack toss and turn. But we don't hear any wet tonight, thankfully. Anything wet tonight, yeah. Sleep well, men. Yeah, was the first to stand, taking his map, and as he padded back to the locker. Tomorrow will be long. Every day is long, my friend. I stand up too, thinking I should add something, but Nick made himself comfortable, resting supine with his arm behind his head. Is there anything you want to tell me? I rubbed the back of my neck, feeling the pressure there, and let out a breath of air. No, not really. Scared I'll fuck up is all. He shrugs. Knowing you probably will. Thanks. No plan is perfect. We just have to respond well when things get hard. We have to be smooth. I think back to both our prior experiences with Will and Frown. I don't think either of us are smooth, Nick. Come, God frowns on liars. I am as smooth as a peanut, Samuel. No, you're more like the chunky kind. Yao returns with a very confused look on his face. What? It was nothing. He opens an eye and looks in my direction. Go to sleep, Samuel. Well, if you're going to fuss about it. If this is fussing, then I will fuss. We won't be here to wake you if you sleep in. Oh, right. As I climb into my bunk, I remember now how we're not supposed to walk together in the morning. I sit in my bed for a while, doing my best to make myself comfortable, fluffing the hard, flat pillow behind my head. And then I think of something else to ask again. They got a cock on a farm nearby to crow us to wake up, or, well, there'll be a pistol shot. But I already hear his heavy snoring from down below. As I shut my eyes and try to sleep through it. But it's not long before I wake up again. A whole damn chorus of snores meet my ears. Die. I blink from the sudden loud vocalization that's still ringing in my ears, and then I sit up and look around. The cabin is completely dark, and everyone seems like they're either under their covers or behind their shades. Whoever it was, it sounded like a clear, deep, crisp voice, like nobody I've heard before. Was it somebody talking in their dreams? Or was it somebody I had dreamed myself? I can't really determine the source of the sound, so I try to close my eyes again. You all deserve to fucking die. My eyelids fling open. That one was a yell so loud it shook the entire cabin. Somebody had to wake up from that. But the snoring continues. I feel my heartbeat in my neck and stare at the ceiling. Whoever it was sounded angry. I feel like I should be able to recognize a voice like that, but there was nobody in my life who come to mind. So, am I dreaming it? Some of my clients told me that dreams can happen when you're awake. Maybe this was one of them happening to me. I turned my head in the direction of where I thought the noise was coming from because I can't see it. Can't see shit. No movement down on the floor either, nor out the window. Well, whatever. I really need to be asleep right now. I shut my eyes again, expecting another shout at ass o'clock in the morning. But it never comes. So I relax again and feel myself drift off finally. Wow. This is really worse than I thought it would be. Some idiot is playing Reviel? On the trumpet. Last night wasn't the worst night sled I've ever had, but I can feel that my body had only just found a way to be cozy, and it was cut short. And for what? For nothing. By a brassy bugle that sounded more like it was being blown between a man's ass cheeks than his mouth. But maybe somebody else besides me got fed up and shoved it there. I keep my eyes shut, wanting to catch more sleep, but sheets are rustling all around me, and the voices around me are getting rowdy. I think I fade in and out of sleep for a while before I feel something big and heavy on my arm shaking me. Oh, this is catchy. I was wondering when the song was going to play, because, I think it's a busy morning. Yeah, it's super catchy. Anyone else see that fan art that Fruits made, where it's all the main characters playing this song? It's super cute. Oh my god. But when he said the song is based on the fan art is based on the song Busy Morning, as soon as this build came out, I was like, time to go into the folder, music, where's Busy Morning? And yeah, it's catchy. I like it. I look at the massive pair of big brown eyes staring at me, making me flinch. You have about 5 minutes before you need to get ready. Ready? He shook his head. Yao and I are leaving now. The oats in the brown tin in the cupboard by the sink are mine. Make sure you eat. I push his arms off me and he's gone. The pressure behind my ears is building up again and my head is throbbing. But eventually I manage to roll out of bed. I take Nick's advice and make myself some oats with water from the hot kettle left on the stove, but I feel guilty eating his food. I'll buy some for him later. Yeah, that song's super catchy. What the fuck? A funny feeling comes over me when I walk this road alone with strangers. Old memories fill my head. Before, I had Nick to make sure I didn't push myself too hard in the dry heat. Or Will to shake his head and smile at me when I did something foolish. That's the best part about William. Oh, get me a man who'll just nag me to death. Like, charmingly so, though. Like, that's the key there. Like, I love that line from William where he's like, oh god, what was the line? Like, don't grovel like a woman in front of me. And I was like, damn, William. Or when he's like, don't call yourself stupid. Only I can do that. Like, oh, William, just sweep me off my feet, why don't you? I remember nearly crippling myself by letting a minecart slide backwards during a coal haul like it was yesterday. Like it was today. I remember that what one of the coworkers said. God must want me dead to put me with a man as slow as you. Well, maybe he was right. I ain't even saw him again after that. I ain't ever saw him again after that. But I didn't need to hear that to know I didn't belong here. Yet, here I am at the mouth of the mine, feeling the wind against me as I followed half a dozen men into the dark. Into the darkest darkness. They told me that I should stand in the elevator room. It was easy enough to find. I couldn't forget that room if I tried. A few other men are standing around, expectant. I don't recognize any of them. Top of the morning, men. The voice I heard wasn't one I expected. It was sunny and boyish, but you could almost call it manic too. A very excitable looking golden retriever approaches us. Who's this friend? Welcome to CSCG family. My name's Ben. You think of me as your guide tour for all you newcomers. He flashes us a smile and tips his cap. Brief though it may be. Now that I've heard him speak, I recognize him as the dog from the stag who got into an argument with the bear. He looks a lot different when he isn't snarling. Most of y'all are dedicated. Dedicated for the first floor. So, if that was mentioned in the debrief, I'll ask you to check in with the foreman on this level. He jerks his head to the building behind us, and all the men but me waddle in that direction. You Sam Ayers, fella? He looks and sounds a bit too familiar to be calling me fella. Reckon so. He clasps me on the shoulder and squeezes. Then it looks like you're with me, you son of a bitch. Way too overfamiliar. Just me? Out of the new batch, yeah, but don't worry about it. There's always more. He hops onto the elevator and it swings beneath his feet. Well, come on. The both of us at the same time? Damn straight. She's rocky, but she's sturdy. I try not to look into the wide chasm below as I close the gap between the platform we're standing on and the free swinging elevator. Where's your stuff? Stuff? He cocks his head and lets out a sharp whine. Your tools, or your lunch. Didn't bring none. The dog lets out a loud whistle that echoes below us, far larger than I might have liked it to. Hope you had a hunch or a hot cake this morning, because this bitch goes deep. Ben flips a switch, and the chain sounds of the elevator rings out as we descend. You got a 30-minute lunch break at noon, but it takes too damn long to make your way in and out of this level. So you better learn to prepare from this day forward, or I promise you'll be sorry. You'll have no one to blame but yourself if you go hungry. He looks at me as if he expects me to respond to that, but it's true, so I haven't nothing to add. Oh, where are you from? I've been a local for a while now. And before that? East Coast. You not much of a talker or something? I didn't think there was anything wrong with my answers. Not really, no. That's a shame, then. You gotta have friends in this kind of work. Probably true. Awfully hard to make friends if you don't talk so much or talk too well. Alright. Well, at least you're speaking my language. The dog clicks his tongue and gives me a wink. More than I can say of most around here. I think you'll do just fine. Thanks. I don't remember asking. Oh no, I got like hiccups. That's not great. That's why we have, I was about to say water, but this is Gatorade because that's just what I have at the moment. We keep going lower until I feel my ears pop. I hate when that happens. Then the elevator comes to a stop. What level is this? 3rd. That didn't seem right. But why is it so deep? Well, why shouldn't it be? Aren't most tunnels just stacked right on top of one another? Says who? Says nobody. Just thought that's how they're supposed to be. Well, ain't everything gonna be how you expect. He smiles at me. I wouldn't worry about it. But I think you should worry about the foreman's first impressions of you. I dropped the back talk. I didn't mean no rudeness. Don't they use this this background when you're traveling in the tunnel with Blythe? Is her name Blythe? I honestly don't know how to pronounce her name. Like, I look at it and I'm just like, I'm so glad I'm not recording right now because I don't know how this name is pronounced. But I think it's Blythe. So we'll go with that when we do Murdoch's route. Unless, someone in the comments wants to help me out and tell me how that name is pronounced. Oh my god. I'm dropping shit. Don't worry about it. I try to breathe deep, but the air feels thin down here. Just curious is all. Try not to be too curious. There's all sorts of funny smells and sounds down here that can get you hurt or worse if you don't know what you're doing. He taps me on the arm and flicks his head in a way that's a little more familiar than I'd like. Let's introduce you to the boss. I noticed that the tunnel was on the third level, If this really is the third level anyway, how much shorter? Anyway, how much shorter ceilings than the top floors? It's lucky that my head barely doesn't touch the top of the ceiling. But for Nick, it must be a problem. He can barely see the first. We can barely see the first man that can come across as he hauls a creaky cart by us, and the squeeze against the wall is tight to let him through. He stops when he comes to a cage behind us. My fur pricks when I hear it rattle and squeal from the top of the vertical shaft, scraping as it descends rapidly. I can hear a softer hum drone in the distance. As we make a few turns, we emerge from a cramped tunnel into a bigger chasm with a higher ceiling that may have been 60 or even 80 feet tall. The noise here is a lot. A large spinning wheel, at least 3 times my height, creaks when it moves. I can see that it connects to a system of moving belts, and that those connect to a compressor that hums and vibrates. That in turn connects to a bunch of pipes and hoses that can be followed parallel to a set of tracks. And they lead to more sounds of drilling, humming, hammering, and picking and scraping. The tubbing is latched to a large mechanical drill sitting on a platform connected to the track. It's hard to tell who's manning it in the dim light. Oh hey, it's a Gila. Okay. Is what's his name's family in power yet? Flynn? Like, he said that his family had been in a good standing within, like, the politics of Echo for generations. You know. Generations? I think he just said decades. I don't know why. Generation Stride! Uh, yeah. Yeah. When I take a closer look, it's a sturdy-looking Gila monster. Whoa, he's got eyes. Wow, those just pierce the soul, don't they? When he notices us, he takes a look for a second, then redirects his attention to the rock. It seems like he's either really concentrated on his particular job, or he's ignoring us. I stand in place so long, waiting for my guide to say something, that I have to shift my weight. Good morning. We're reporting in for today's work, Mr. Moore. He flips off the switch of the machine and takes a look at us. Beckett's fine. His voice sounds surly and gruff. This isn't military keys? How is this pronounced? What do you need? Briggs asked me to bring our new man to you. Despite how dark it is, I can tell that the lizard is looking at me slowly from top to bottom. He's not prepared for work. No bag, no hammer, no pick, no nothing. I doubt he even has matches. I know that I'm not even planning to stay here, but this man is doing a good job of making me feel embarrassed. What the hell is this, Keys? Everybody knows they're supposed to supply their own materials. The lizard's tone is getting more and more curt with me. I apologize for the inconvenience, sir, but Mr. Hendricks told me that he'd supply those things for me. Let's suppose that's true for that. Let's suppose for a second that's true. When? I'm a little surprised by that question. Though, in fairness, I probably shouldn't be. It's a pretty fair question. Well, he never told me when I'd be getting those things. In all fairness, I hoped I'd run into him here. You some kind of joker? Oh, what a bunch of jokers. It's Rhine time. You can't spell rainbow without Rhine. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I'm losing it. This is level 3. Hendrix never comes down here. He's not somebody who likes to get his pressed suit dirty, if you catch my drift. Then I suppose that's a bit of a problem for me. That's putting it lightly. If you can't work, then we can't get things done. If you can't work, you don't get paid. Nothing personal. This is just but this is a job. Level 3 might not be the best place for a novice anyhow. I'll take rookies and experienced alike if they can work. Oh, I thought that that was him for a second. I'll take rookies and experts alike if they can work. We're unmanned. Maybe he didn't know any better, but if you saw him without equipment, then he shouldn't be down here. You usually know better than that. Wait, don't blame me for the new fella's mistake. It's his fault, not mine. Beckett grunts. If I had to blame nobody, it'd be anybody. It'd probably be Hendrix. But all of these setbacks have put us a week behind schedule, and Briggs is pissed. We haven't made much progress on expanding the main shaft or digging deeper, and those exposed veins will be picked dry before long. I'd feel the same way if I were in his shoes. Let's just do our job to put things right. Understood. Of course, sir. Understood. The Gila turns away from us and flips the switch of the machine. I brace myself for the loud How is that pronounced? Let's see here. Let's CHISELING.
Chisel.
Chisel? Is that how that word's spelled? Well, okay. But after I hear is the click of a switch back and forth, the Gila curses under his breath. Something wrong with the damn pick again. He circles the machine. The compressor hose is secure, and there's nothing out of line with the hardware. Must be a problem with the compressor itself. Did Kai say that he was having problems with it today? Well, Kai wasn't there. He was supposed to be. That's his assignment today. Then he missed it. But who the hell was there? I didn't see anybody. You're supposed to report that, damn it. If there's something wrong with the compressor, then it could be the power, and that could affect the vents. I just wasn't thinking about that right now. Jesus Christ, this is dangerous. I'm not to blame for any of this. Oh, look at his scrunched little face. Oh, he's a good boy. I don't give a ghost of a shit about who's to blame. I just need you with me, Keys. Breakdowns like this can cause a lot of problems if we're not on top of them. Where the hell is your head today? Is there a problem? Just like that, my whole body feels a lot lighter when I hear Nick's voice. Perfect fucking timing. Could be. I need to check on some things. I heard that this one lacks equipment. He nodded to me. I have tools to spare. That would be helpful, Mr. Kroll. Kroll? Is that how that's pronounced? Kroll? Kroll. Okay. Europe names suck. I'm guessing it's European. I don't know. Man. Anytime I look at those languages, I'm like, how do these languages work? Like, what the fuck? And you like, there are so many rules about like how things are pronounced, and I just don't understand. I just don't understand. Like, even though I don't speak any Asian language, it makes it like the pronunciation is a lot easier. Like, it's so much easy. Like, if you take like Asian names and phrases and just write them out using English characters, they just read very easily. Because everything has like there aren't really special rules. It's just like you just say it. But I don't know. Show this man the ropes. He's on extraction duty with you for today. Unless Mr. Keyes has some need for him. I don't. Then there's one problem. That's one problem solved. Help me investigate the compressor, and wherever Mr. Kai might have went. Of course. The two of them are gone without so much as giving me a second look. Well, that went as poorly as first impressions could go. I saw it all. I want to tell Nick that it feels like his foreman knows I shouldn't be here, but Nick gives me a look that says that there are people everywhere listening. It's unfortunate that the Pyramid or rock picker isn't working right now. It's a beautiful piece of technology, but if there are a problem with it, the foreman will just have to use his pick and hammer for a while, like the rest of us. So what do the rest of us do exactly? Nick grunts. In some ways, you are lucky that progress has been slow. Extracting ore is not difficult. You will have no problem while you are with me for today. But it is hard work, so you're going to sweat. I can handle that. For a moment, I consider mentioning how that's never bothered him before, but I don't think he would much appreciate it if I said something like that. But I can't stand the idea of getting grimy for hours on end without grooming myself throughout the day. It's only a week, though. I think I could put up with anything for only a week. The farther we go from the Beckett site, the harder it is to see the heavy machinery and the torches. The light in Nick's lamp is the only guide we have for the moment. How do any of you manage to see down here? The Badger taps his cap. I do fine with just this. But before I could afford the lamp, candles mostly. That's a little strange to me. Strange? How? I've never seen you without your hat before, when you work. I just assume you've always had it. Carbon lamps are expensive, my friend. And so is gas. Still, it's hard for me to picture you without it on for very long. That I can argue with. It gives me comfort. Careful. He lays his big hand across my chest. His headlight shines on a pile of rocks scattered messily on the dirt floor, and the end of the mine track where the wide cart sits. I hear grunts, the shuffling of bodies, the rocks shattering all around me, and I could barely see anything in front of me. Let's find a spot that isn't so crowded. I want to tell him that I don't mind because I can't even see anybody, but I don't think I should second guess him. Here's a nice spot. Come. There's a big outcropping of rock beside a wooden scaffold. I don't know how long the scene is gonna be, so I think I'll just end it here. Not kind of like the best place to end it, but you don't want these videos to get too long, right? So, yeah, I'll see you around, everyone.